So as a Muslim, can I beat my wife?
You can as a Muslim only when she gives disobedient action.
And is there limits to how the beating can take place?
In the Quran, there's no limits given.
Right. So in Islam, so here's where you've.
Yeah.
This brings us back to our point now. Now we all started this point because he was trying to quote verses of the Quran saying they're clear. All right.
They are clear to me.
Right. They're clear to him.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we brought up the verse of beating the wife, and he thinks it means you can beat your wife without limits. So you have no understanding.
No.
You don't follow no guidance.
Here,
you don't follow no messengers. You don't follow no scholars. You think you can think for yourself.
Allah says the verses are entirely clear.
So now,
has Allah got it wrong?
Now look what you're doing now.
Allah got it wrong?
Now look what you're doing now. You're
Chapter
quoting
3,
verses of the Quran like you understand them.
Allah says the
Can you not
verses
see what
are
you're doing?
entirely clear.
Can you not see what you're doing?
I'm trusting
You're
the
quoting
Quran.
verses of the Quran.
I'm trusting the Quran. I'm trusting the Quran.
Okay.
Allah says they're clear verses.
Listen.
Are they clear or not?
Look. What did I say? What's your method of understanding?
And I answered you.
You didn't. You didn't answer me.
I did.
You didn't answer me. This is what you said to me.
times.
How do you understand the
Several
verses? I understand the verses because of what the verses say.
Times.
How do you understand the verses?
Several times.
How do you understand them?
Because try listening. I bet you won't
I'm
listen.
listening.
I'll answer you and interrupt. The Quran was sent down by Allah clearly. I read it, it's clear. I don't need a Muslim to say, how do you understand it? It's clear enough.
How do you understand it?
I use my brain.
Okay.
Allah uses his words. I use my brain. You put it
Does the
clearly.
Quran say you could beat your wife?
Yes, he does.
What is it? How do you beat your wife? How do you beat your wife? According to the Quran.
It does not say.
So what's the limits?
It does not say in the Quran.
So what's the limits?
In the Quran, there are no limits.
So you can beat her as much as you like?
According to the Quran, yes.
Right, so the Quran says you can beat your wife as much as you like. Now this is evidence.
The Quran does not say that. The Quran just says you can beat your wife.
So is there any limits to it?
I have answered that twice, but I know you hear it 10 times before you'll understand it. It does not give any limits in the Quran.
Okay.
So you have to use your judgment.
Right.
You use your judgment.
So, according to you, the teachings of Islam allow you to beat your wife, yes?
I have said that several times.
It would answer definitively, yes?
Chapter 4, verse 34.
All right.
Hang on.
Right.
You tell me how many times I've got to say it before you believe when I say it.
No, I'm happy. So
Tell me.
I'm just, listen.
Are you happy now?
Yeah.
I've said it enough
All right.
times.
So just for everybody here, he said it, I think, 10 times now. He believes the Quran says you can beat your wife without limits.
No.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. What's the limit then? What's the limit?
The Quran does not give a limit.
So what's the limit then? It's limitless then. Right. So again, I'll say.
You have to use your brain.
Alhamdulillah.
Allah gave you and
Alhamdulillah. So for the 11th time now, he's ring fenced it now. So everybody here is aware of what he's just said. He believes that the Quran says you can beat your wife limitless.
No. He's twisting it. I've said the Quran says you can beat your wife. He's putting words in my mouth in the Quran. I never said limitless.
Sir,
I just said. So God gave you a brain.
Is there any limit?
I'll say it again.
Is there any limit?
I'll say it again.
Is there any limit?
The Quran does not give a limit. Did you hear it that time? The Quran does not give a limit. Did you hear it?
So it's limitless.
The Quran.
So it's limitless.
In your words.
No, in your words. Okay.
I give my words. You give your words.
All right, I'll use your words.
I won't put.
I'll use your words.
Does not give limits.
Alhamdulillah.
Quran gave you a brain and a heart.
I'll give you.
If you connect with it, you won't be stupid.
I'll give you your words. Okay. So for the 14th time now, man's ring fence this. He believes that the Quran says there's no limit to how you can beat your wife.
Now you're putting words.
I just used your words.
Again.
You said no limit.
No.
You just said no limit.
I did not say that.
Everybody listen to what he says, and then I'm going to repeat what he says, all right?
Yes.
I
will say the Quran says you can beat your life.
How?
Beat your life. Beat your wife.
Hang on. That's all it says. It does not give you any limits one way or the other.
So as a Muslim, can I beat my wife?
You can as a Muslim only when she gives disobedient action.
And is there limits to how the beating can take place?
In the Quran, there's no limits given.
Right. So in Islam, so here's where you've.
Yeah.
This brings us back to our point now. Now we all started this point because he was trying to quote verses of the Quran saying they're clear. All right.
They are clear to me.
Right. They're clear to him.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we brought up the verse of beating the wife, and he thinks it means you can beat your wife without limits.
Now
we
I've
Muslims.
I've time and time again said no, you can't beat your wife without limits. It just says you can beat your wife. He says that I said without limits.
No, I asked-
never once said
All right.
it. I've several times said, no, you can't beat your
Can you
wife
punch her in the
without
face?
limits.
Can you punch her in the
It doesn't
face?
say so in the Quran.
Does it prohibit you to?
It doesn't mention.
So if the Quran says you can beat your wife, how can I do this beating?
You use your brain that Allah gave you. You use your
what way?
brain and your
All
heart
right, so
that Allah gave you.
all right.
If it's underdeveloped, work on it.
All right, so let's use your example. I've come home from work. I found my wife in bed with the neighbour. Am I allowed to beat her?
Yes.
In what way?
You have to use your own judgment.
Now remember.
You have to
now
use
remember.
your own judgment.
Remember one thing.
You have to use your own
remember one
judgment.
thing. Crime of passion is a defence in a court of law.
Yes, he is.
All right? Means if you do something out of character due to your nature, your emotions, yeah, you're not held responsible in a court of law if it goes against your natural character. So therefore, a man who comes home and finds his wife in bed with the neighbour, yeah, not a Muslim, any man, yeah, is going to flip, yeah? Now, according to you, in this occasion, I can beat her, yeah?
According to the Quran, not according to me. No,
All right, according to
I'm
your
against
understanding-
wife beating.
Of Quran.
I am against wife beating,
Hamza.
but the Quran permits
Right.
it. But I'm against it.
Right.
This is such a bizarre case.
Yeah.
No, it's good.
Yeah, you haven't heard the punchline.
Yeah, you don't. Wait.
This guy's going to
Oh,
have...
that's a great punchline, yeah?
Well, no pun intended,
I
but
like it, Joe.
I'll take the credit.
No pun
No
intended.
pun intended.
Yeah.
All right.
Carry on then.
So I'll explain. I will explain it. Okay. So here's my point. What I'm trying to prove to you. We know as Muslims. Muslims here? Yeah. Can we beat our wives?
Depends if you live in Saudi
Chapter
Arabia
4,
or,
verse 34
Oh,
says
no.
you can.
Right.
Chapter 4, verse
All right.
34
Muslims
says you
here.
can.
Muslims here.
I can show you in
Can
the
you
Quran
can you be
here.
quiet a second?
Okay,
You've talked a
just
lot.
one minute.
Muslims here. How do we understand the Quran?
the United Arab
lot of
Emirates
you
has
have not even read it.
Huh?
A lot of you haven't even read it.
Okay, thank you for that. Any Muslim here? Okay, we understand the Quran how? The Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is the walking Quran. He interprets the Quran. He shows us how to understand the Quran and its nature. So what did Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam say about beating the wife? What did he say? Don't hit the face. Right? Listen. I'm telling you what the Messenger of God said. Okay, because the Quran says pray, but doesn't show us how to pray either.
So you don't need to know. Just
We don't need to know how to pray.
Don't need to know. Just pray.
The Quran tells us how to fast. How long do we fast for?
You don't need to know. Think for
All
yourself.
right.
Think for
So
yourself.
here's the beautiful thing about Islam. You see. Islam is not Christianity. It's not abstract.
I know.
Right.
Difference between them. Yes.
We have a working example. We have a working example. So any man or woman today can follow the teachings of the
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Jesus has nothing to do with the Bible, mate.
He does. Have you tried reading it?
Listen to me.
You read
Listen
the
to me.
Christian
Listen to
Gospels,
me.
you've seen it all the way through.
If you could show me one doctrine of Christianity, that Jesus taught, then you can show me that after, yeah.
I'm not a Christian.
No. Well, you
but
can.
I've read the Christian
All right.
Gospels,
You show
and
me Jesus taught
Christ
original
is in
sin.
it, giving very good
All right.
advice.
We'll deal with this.
And he doesn't say you can beat your wife. I much prefer Christianity to Islam.
Okay.
You can't beat your wife.
Okay, are you listening? Okay, good. Right. So we as Muslims follow our guidance who? Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, our example, our role model. Yeah? Now he says, with regards beating the wife, what? Don't hit the face, don't cause pain, don't leave a mark. Right? Three conditions.
If it says so in the hadith, shame that.
No, wait. No. God in the Quran tells you to follow the messenger, which is what we're doing. So the messenger shows us how to understand the Quran.
Yeah.
So you've read a verse of the Quran using your own logic and understanding, thinking it permits beating of a woman, whereas I've shown you Muslims how we understand the verses of the Quran is through the messenger of God, and he shows us no, you can't beat women.
It doesn't say you can't. So, do you believe Allah or Muhammad? Shall I read out what the Quran says? Chapter 7.
Okay.
Chapter 3.
No, this is where I think you've gone a little bit mental. Relax. Okay, there's no need to read the
Don't
Quran to
blame
me.
me. I didn't write
No
the
need to read the
Quran.
Quran for me. What we
If the
discussing
Quran's
here?
wrong,
What we
don't
discussing
blame
here?
me.
No, your understanding
Don't
of it is
blame
wrong.
me.
Your understanding is wrong.
No.
No, the Quran is correct. The Quran is bang on. Your understanding of it is wrong.
You can beat your
Your
wife.
understanding is wrong.
Your Quran says
Your
you can
understanding
beat your
of
wife.
it is wrong. And why?
No,
Why is
Allah
your
got it
understanding
wrong
of it is
then.
wrong? Because you have no understanding.
No.
You don't follow no
It
guidance.
says here,
You don't follow no messengers. You don't follow no
verses are
scholars.
entirely
You think you
clear.
can think for yourself.
Allah says the verses are entirely clear.
So now,
Has Allah got it wrong?
Now look what you're doing
Has
now.
Allah got it wrong?
Now look what you're doing now. You're
Chapter
quoting
3,
verses of the Quran
verse
like you understand
7.
them.
Allah says the
Can you not
verses
see what
are
you're doing?
entirely clear.
Can you not see what you're doing?
I'm trusting
You're
the
quoting
Quran.
verses of the Quran.
I'm trusting the Quran. I'm
okay.
trusting the Quran.
Okay.
Allah says they're clear verses.
Listen.
Are they clear or not?
Look, it's very, very simple.
Make your mind up.
Listen, it's very, very simple. I've just shown you. You cannot use the Quran until you show us a method of understanding it.
God got it wrong.
No, you've got it wrong.
So can I just, for my simple Jewish brain, is it clear or not?
In what?
Is the Quran
When it
clear or
says
not?
the Quran, it says all verses are clear. Is that true or not?
Imran, how would you understand that?
Can you please read the whole verse? Yeah, read the whole verse. May I have?
Wait on. You were doing this. Excuse me.
No, let me read the verse in question.
It says it's clear. Okay, you want to read it. You want to read it out.
May I?
It is he who has sent down to you the book. In it there are verses that are entirely clear.
There are verses, yeah?
They are the foundations of the book. I'm avoiding the bits in brackets because people put bits in brackets.
And others
Other ambiguous.
ambiguous.
أخرى متشابهات.
And others are not clear. So as for those, wait on, I haven't finished.
These on their heart.
The Prophet will explain the ones that are not clear.
They follow the
Do you
concept.
want to turn the page over and you got cold hands?
So you are sick in the heart.
There's a deviation, and for that which is not clear.
So why are you shouting those bits there? I don't understand. You're shouting a lot.
Well, it says they're entirely clear. Does the Quran contradict
Is that,
itself?
have you
I tell you what, the reason I'm having everybody reading it, the reason I do read it,
he's not a standard debater here.
add bits
He's
in the
heckling
Quran. I'm trying to read the bits in the Quran without the bits the editors have added and put in the Quran.
Where's it edited?
Why is added?
It's added, look, they put bits in brackets
Where? Let me see.
which are not from
Let me
the
see.
Quran.
Let me see. Let me see. Yes. Let me see.
I'm holding it, and you can see it. You can see it. There are bits in brackets.
One second.
Okay.
Wait. Okay. Oh, wait. Read that. That's not in brackets. That's not in brackets.
That is what I'm trying to
Okay.
read.
That's not in brackets.
That's what I'm trying to
And
read.
others that are not so clear. That's not in brackets.
And others are not as clear.
Right. So not all clear then, is it?
Those
You shout that bit out again.
in whose hearts there is a deviation.
Exactly.
Then it goes into brackets. Where do the brackets end?
No, what about that?
They follow that which is not entirely clear.
Right.
There you
And
go.
seeking its hidden meanings, but none knows its hidden meanings except Allah.
Right.
Exactly.
All I can say that is it contradicts itself. One verses is clear.
Some
verses
verses.
is not
It
clear.
says some verses are clear.
And only Allah understands it.
Say that.
Clear.
If you continue, if you
Does
read the verse,
it says
that
only Allah understands.
People who have knowledge. Keep reading it. People who understand.
Keep reading. Keep reading.
Wait on.
So the Quran is telling us these verses that are not so clear. Seek the people of knowledge to understand them. But you don't seek the people of knowledge. You try to interpret them yourself.
Oh no.
So clear.
Yes.
I'm not a Muslim.
I know you're
I'm
not.
not a Muslim.
So?
I don't follow the Quran.
Right.
Even if Allah
So why are you
gave
quoting
me
it then?
permission, even if Muhammad gave me permission
Anyway,
to be my wife,
anyway.
I'd rather
Oh, no,
lead
honestly.
the religion of Islam.
Where-
I'm not a Muslim.
where's that brother gone?
than
That was
beat my
mashallah.
life. So no, I don't agree with wife beating. I love
No.
Judaism.
Whoa.
No
Let me wrap up the wife
beating.
beating. I'll say it again to you.
But you can beat
Islam
your wives.
prohibits wife beating.
Can I ask a question on that?
Chapter
Yes.
7.
United Arab Emirates recently released a fatwa that says you can beat your wife. So the different interpretations of that verse.
Okay. First thing, I'm not here representing the United Arab Nations.
No, but
well, I'm not.
No, but
Well, I'm not.
In the mall.
I'm representing Islam and what it teaches.
all I'm asking are the
No idea. I'm not an Arab mate. Speak to someone from the United Arab Emirates.
So I'm just asking, are there different interpretations?
must be.
See nothing.
Yes.
You have
So,
to wipe the
okay, so
screen.
you're saying you don't know those
I'm not a Muslim.
interpretations?
You follow your Quran, I follow my Torah.
There are people, for example, who will use religion for all sorts of things.
Okay, so that's what you're saying there.
No idea.
Maybe
It depends on
perverting the
if somebody said you can beat your wife, I would.
Do understand Torah?
All right. You said you made a claim. You made the claim. No. You've just made a claim.
I said that
You just made a claim. Yeah, but yeah, I'll quote that. You made a claim that the Supreme Court of the United Arab Emirates give a fatwa that they can beat your wife. Yeah.
if she's disobedient.
If she's disobedient, right? But I would question how they understand the hadith with regards to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and regards not hitting the face, causing pain and such.
That's all I was asking. That's all I was
Alhamdulillah.
asking. Thank you.
So I like the Quran, most of it, not all of it, but
You don't understand it, mate.
But when it comes to teaching a man,
You don't understand
should
it, mate.
No, should I follow the Sunnis or the Shia or the Harabis or the others
Okay.
or their
And
different
then Quran.
And here end is
interpretations?
the lesson. How many Qurans? What Quran do the Shia read?
Yeah, which Quran?
Well, they've got their own hadiths.
Which Quran do they read?
Hadiths.
Which Quran do they read?
Hadiths.
Which Quran do they
Same
read? Which Quran do they read?
But different hadiths.
Which Quran do they read?
I have answered
Which
it
Quran?
several times.
No, I can't hear you.
Shall I?
Quran,
Well,
Quran.
try listening. I've got
Try
an
talking
loud voice. You've
yeah,
said
yeah.
I've got an loud
No,
voice.
I get lost in white noise.
Try
It's white noise.
listening now.
All I'm hearing is shh.
Try listening now.
Calm down, calm
Try
down, calm down,
listening.
calm down, calm
You
down.
aren't listening.
Calm
Try
down,
to
mate. You're not on
speak.
your ladder. Relax.
Instead of telling me to calm down, try
Bring this guy a chair.
listening.
Sit down, relax. You're gonna have a heart attack.
Listening. There's one Quran, but there's
Alhamdulillah.
lots of hadiths.
Alhamdulillah.
There's one Quran, but lots of
All
hadiths.
right. Anyway, just to finish my point that we started off, you tried to quote the Quran.
Which I did.
No.
White beating
You made no. You
No, you said
no.
it's clear to you, sir.
You don't understand it.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
It's clear to you.
And then you try to say that the Quran supports Zionism, and he doesn't mention it. Now here's the problem. You're doing it again. You're doing it again.
Returning. That's what
You have no
Zionism
authority
is.
to understand the Quran.
The first 5 verses. If you are sick
is
in
a-
the heart, if you are sick in the heart, you are going the wrong motorway.
I'm not sick in the heart.
To take you somewhere else.
It's
Listen, I'm not sick in the heart. I have to it.
But
like
if you want to have that debate, we'll have that debate.
I like your Quran.
Yeah. Shame you don't understand it.
I understand it enough.
No, you don't.
And I see how
you
the
don't
Muslim
understand.
world
If you
ticks.
think you can beat, if you think a Muslim can beat his wife, you don't understand the Quran. Simple.
It says you can beat your wife.
I said understand it.
So do you understand the Torah better than the Quran?
Yeah.
So 1818, who's referring? Which prophet is referring to?
1818.
In the Bible.
What do you mean 1818?
Deuteronomy
All right.
1818.
Here
in the
ends the
Bible.
lesson.
Who's mentioned there? Who's the Bible?
I've memorised the entire
Well, you wanna
Torah. It's a
debate?
big book, not your small Quran. The Torah is 6 times larger.
No, what I'm saying is this. Just the Quran says something. Just because it says you have to understand what it's saying to you. It's basically saying you can't beat your wife, even in a crime of passion.
But isn't that a weird way of saying it? Wouldn't it be better to say you can't beat your wife rather than you
Yes.
can beat your wife? If the objective was not to beat your wife.
Okay.
Divorce her, fine, but don't beat her.
Basically, you can do this. Yeah, this is the symbolism of it.
Okay. Did everyone say that?
Yeah,
He just
so-
assaulted me.
Anti-Semitism.
You beat him. You beat him.
It's to show the level
He's not
you're
even
at.
your wife.
So when you admonish her, you separate from her bed. Imagine a crime of passion. You know, you can find your wife.
Does this mean we're married?
Give me the WhatsApp.
No, thank God.
So basically, if you come out, if it's a crime of passion, for example, incident, and you find your wife in bed with a neighbour, yeah, you admonish her. You say, "What you fucking doing with the geezer?" Yeah. Then you have to, I'm not sleeping in your bed anymore. Yeah. Then after that, if you're still no reconciliation, yeah, and you're still messing around, yeah, that's when the symbolic. You understand?
I understand what you're saying, yeah.
That's it.
But I'm just saying it's not
It's
saying...
symbolic of the next.
It's not
It's
saying...
symbolic of exactly what he said.
all I'm saying
After
is
that comes talaq.
All I'm saying is it's not saying that you can't beat your wife. Because you can't beat your wife is really easy to express. It says you can't beat your wife instead of you can beat your wife.
There's only one God.
I understand what
No,
you're saying.
but you could argue the semantics of the word used as well.
I understand what-
There are some people who, like, I'll give you an example. If you speak to Quran-only Muslims, so these Muslims don't accept hadith, they will interpret that verse completely different.
And I do.
They won't even use the word beat.
I don't have a problem.
They say the Arabic word can mean something else.
So
So they don't even have the issue of
I think it's really
beating.
sad
There
that
is no
this white
beating.
beating is allowed in
that's fine,
Islam.
but you understand the meaning.
I understand Islam as the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ taught us, and he said, with regards beating of wives, if you can't cause pain, and you can't hit the face, and you can't leave a mark, you can't beat your wife. Salah. Simple.
Okay, I get that, but I'm just saying, if the message was don't beat your wife, wouldn't it have been much easier to explicitly say as a law, not as meaning something else, but to say you can't beat your wife?
then what does the tap symbolise?
I get what you're
Pretty
saying.
much nothing, actually.
No, it means after that is divorce. That's what it means. It's,
Why go straight to divorce?
But can I,
because it's stages, isn't it?
Brother Hamza, can I
No,
say?
give me-
Brother Hamza, I want to make a really important point on this. I raised the point of the United Arab Emirates for a reason. The United Arab Emirates understand that verse differently to maybe you, and I don't know to what extent they say you can beat your wife, but they understand that verse in the Quran as meaning you can literally beat your wife if she's disobedient. So the reason I'm saying, if the Quran was to send a much clearer message, and the message was you can't beat your wife, surely sending a verse which is unambiguous, which explicitly states you can't beat your wife, would be a...
I'll say to you again. I'll say
just
no, I'll say to you
would be
again.
much better.
I think you misunderstand is why I said to you.
Okay, maybe.
If you see, I'm not going this definitive on the Arabic words used. If you speak to a Quran, right,
and they're interpreting that when she does disobey her husband, that means you can discipline her.
I'll say
with
to you
force.
again, right? First thing,
So I know that you believe that, and I know that Brother Hamza doesn't beat his wife either.
But I don't speak on behalf of the United Arab Emirates. I don't even know which fatwa you're talking about. I don't know who give that fatwa. I don't even know how valid it is.
Yeah,
I don't know who accepts
there's
it.
one Supreme Council which basically sits.
Are you saying the law of United Arab Emirates is you can beat your wife? Because I think you're wrong.
Yeah. Okay. So we can pull that up. I can bring you the.
Go on then.
I want to take one thing just because I don't like to make mistakes. It didn't say fatwa. What it said, they issued a ruling, so I read it in English. So I don't know if that ruling is translated as fatwa or is it translated as a different law in the penal code. So it could be either. It could be either. So I don't want to misrepresent Emirati law and my own. This is all on camera.
See, here's what you got to understand. If you look at the rest of the Quran, you can see how we are with our wives. Yeah, we wrap ourselves in each other. Men are the twin half of women. The best of you is best of your wives, according to Muhammad. All of these things married up, you can't beat your wife, mate, because you can't beat somebody who you're supposed to love.
Quran says you can.
Because you misunderstood it.
Quran says you can. It's not a good book then, is it? It's not a good book.
It's not my fault. You think you can interpret things, you have no ability.
I didn't write it.
It's my fault.
It says you can beat your wife.
You to understand it.
Quran should have made it an important thing like that. The Quran should say so.
An important thing like that, you should seek proper understanding of.
No.
Instead of your DIY.
God should give understanding. God should tell you about wife beating, a thing like that.
He does. Speak to his messenger. He does.
Of all the Jews I know, by the way, he's the one with the least agenda. I don't follow the Quran. He actually has very nice things to say about Islam and the Quran, and he thinks they're potentially divine. So it's
yes, I believe the Quran is divine.
Someone who's maybe more on your side than
I believe the Quran is divine.
You do?
Yeah, absolutely. So is the Christian Gospel, so is the Jewish Torah. Yeah, all three were divine.
Why do you believe that?
All three. I believe it, yeah. It's all right, you don't have.
No, why do you believe that?
Yeah, I do.
Why do you think the Christian Gospel?
I think religion's a personal thing.
I personally, I pray a lot. I pray a lot, and I know that, yes.
So when you believe something, you need to have reason to believe it, yeah? So what's your reasons to believe the Christian?
I told you, I pray. So because I pray, I believe it.
Well, how does that make you believe it? Okay. What's your reason?
Well, you don't have to believe me. I just say I do.
I'm not saying I don't believe you. I'm asking why you believe it.
Yeah, I pray and ask questions.
So who do you ask?
I pray.
So you're telling me you've prayed to God and said, God, are the Christian Gospels from you? You've done that? Yeah. And what did you answer?
I'm not going to go into detail. You're going to pray it for yourself. Pray and ask it yourself.
I guess the answer is yes.
Pray and ask
How
it
do you know
yourself.
that's God saying yes?
Pray and ask it
How do you know
yourself.
that's God saying yes?
You don't have to believe. I believe it. You don't have to believe I believe it. That's all right.
Listen, I'm not questioning what you believe. I'm asking why you believe it.
Yeah, I believe it. That's what I believe. My prayer, the answers I get.
Maybe he doesn't want to.
I believe the answers I get.
Question. I said.
I told you. Look, I told you.
He didn't put it out. I volunteered that information for him.
I said he believes the Christian Gospels are divine. I'm asking why he says that.
Yes.
But I assume for the same reason.
I told you. I pray and I get answers. You could pray and get answers. Yeah, God.
How do you know it's got answers?
You don't have to believe me. I just told you. I believe it. You don't have to.
How do you know it's God?
Because I just. Maybe I'm wrong. But I believe it's God. No, I do. I do.
You don't know.
I do know. I do know.
Can I come back? Because we're kind of like no one's really answering these questions. I think the most important point that's come out of this conversation, for me, I found it really, really interesting, was the purpose of law. So in the Jewish Old Testament and the Torah, the laws are really explicit, and they're kind of, the rabbis have some influence on how they're interpreted, but basically if the Torah says you can do something, it's permissible. If it says you can't do something, it's not permissible. If it doesn't say anything, then legal positivism says you can do it. In Islam, we're saying there's a verse in the Quran, and it's really interesting for me, I'm genuinely interested in this. It says that the verse that says you can beat, or unless you're a Quranist then it means something else, but that actually means the actual opposite of what the verse is saying. So that for me is really, really interesting, and it doesn't seem.
If you look at the context, you look into it. Okay. Look at the tafsir about it. Look at the hadith with regards to it.
I'm listening to them.
Yeah, and that's how you understand the Quran.
So, for instance, could somebody interpret the verse where it says you can't eat everything from the sea? Actually, here's a great example. In the Torah, it says that you can't eat anything from the sea unless it has fins and scales. Yeah, almost all streams of Islam, with the exception of the Hanafi, say that actually everything from the sea is lawful because that's what the Quran says. The Quran says everything in the sea is lawful unto you. So could we exist in a world where actually that verse could mean the complete opposite, and it actually means that you can't eat everything from the sea?
Depends whether or not the Prophet Muhammad elaborated on that verse.
So because the Hanafi, I believe the Hanafi say that you can only eat what the Jews eat, basically. Which is what the Jews do. Is that coming from a hadith?
No, but here's the thing. Do you understand schools of fiqh?
Yeah.
You understand?
I don't know how they work, but I understand.
You understand, like, for example, Hanafi fiqh from Abu Hanifa.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Say again.
The school of what Hanafi might teach now may not come from Abu Hanifa. You understand that?
I understand that things can evolve along the way and things can come in and corrupt something. Is that what you're saying?
No, what I'm saying is, if you can go to Hanafi fiqh and find polar opposites on the same issue.
Okay. And you're saying because those polar opposites exist, only one of them can be right. So am I keeping up with you? Sorry, you're moving quite fast.
I'm just giving an example. You're trying to go that definitive. So, for example, let's say in Hanafi fiqh they say you can't eat shellfish, you can't eat lobster, you can't eat crabs. The mic's there. The mic's there. Oh, is it? Oh, where's that cheeky scamp? Is that yours?
Yeah. Where's yours?
That's mine off. Cheeky what?
He's selling the audio. I'll get you a good deal.
No, £10,
£20. I'll cut you on 10%. The only reason I brought it up is because
look at this.
I didn't even do it.
Anyway, so what I would say, like I said to you, just as I would question United Arab Emirates if they've actually said you can beat your wife, I would question in Hanafi fiqh, why do you, if the Quran says you can eat what's in the sea, why do you go against that and think you can't eat prawns and that? I understand the rationale.
Great. Can we just pause that, because that's exactly my point.
Yeah.
So if you can understand, you question the Hanafi of why they can say actually you can't eat these food when the Quran explicitly says you can. Does that not apply to wife beating?
No, because what they might have done.
Because what you're saying is
because the Prophet ﷺ was definitive on it.
So you're saying because a hadith exists which says you can beat your wife?
No, the hadith says
the hadith says you can beat, but it gives constraints.
Which you can't.
The Quran says you can beat, but you're saying the message.
What type of
Can I just finish? Please? I've listened patiently. You're saying that the message behind that Quran is that you can't beat your wife. That was what you said. That's what you had the huge debate about. You said the purpose of that verse.
No. What I said,
maybe
I said he implied the Quran doesn't set a limit to regards the beating. Yeah. Which means if someone just reads the Quran and they think they can beat your wife, they think they could beat your wife as much as you like.
Did I mishear you? Because I thought you said, maybe I misheard, and it'll be on camera. But did you say the purpose of that verse was to show that you can't beat your wife? Because that was what.
No. That's not the purpose. No.
Perfect. Okay, sorry, I probably misunderstood.
You implied that. No, basically what I'm saying to you is this: if the Quran says you can beat your wife, right, and somebody disused the Quran and they interpret it as he interprets it, if he ever became a Muslim, he thinks he can beat his wife, for example.
I don't.
Right. Okay. You just said you did.
I wouldn't become a Muslim and I wouldn't beat my wife.
No, you just said you could, though, according to the Quran.
Oh, I could.
So what did I just say?
I could.
So I just said.
Wouldn't.
So what did I just say?
Let's say I would.
I just said if he became a Muslim, he would believe the Quran allows him to beat his wife if he chooses to, as much as he likes. All right, because there's no limit to it. It doesn't say stop here, stop there. All right.
Maybe he believes that that's up to the individual. Same way that slavery is.
And like I said to you, so then according to the individual, if they catch their wife in bed with a neighbour and they know they're allowed to beat their wife's going to get battered if there's no limit to it, But in Islam, because of the teachings of Muhammad ﷺ with regards to that verse about the beating, no hit in the face, no causing pain, no leaving a mark, that's no beating. So a man is not at liberty then to beat his wife as he likes, Basically, the Prophet ﷺ used the word. It's funny. Someone just give me a miswak. It says it's like using a miswak. This is a miswak.
But they used to be a bit bigger than that as well.
Maybe a little bit. Now, if I was to beat you with this, and I can't cause you pain, I can't hit you in the face, nor can I leave a mark.
If it was like that little gentle stroke you gave me before, then definitely.
So if I can't hit the face because I can't poke you in the face, right? I can't leave a mark, nor can I cause you any pain. Can you define that as a beating?
How far can you possibly go?
So is it
right? Can you or not?
So what's the reason? The question is, what's the reason?
I agree.
Right.
The hadith,
right. So what will this then? What will this be then?
No, I'm not.
What will it be?
Final warning.
To be honest, if I did that to my wife when she was really annoyed at me, that would probably result in me.
Now here's the thing: it doesn't. Now here's the funny thing: there's no prohibition on women beating their husbands. You know that, don't you? Anyway, right? You know, I think Egyptian men are the most abused men in the world. You know that?
They
say that, innit? Egyptian men. their wives beat them, man.
Statistics coming out of Egypt, the Tahir Square and things like that. I question.
I wouldn't believe all that either.
It's one of the most abusive countries.
I'll say it again to you. The most abused husbands in the world are in Egypt. Okay, just so you're aware of that. Okay. So what could this be?
Feminists watching this, please message me with those statistics.
Okay. So what could this be? Nothing more than I'm letting you know you're at your limit with me, and anything like this again, we're finished.
To be honest, that's a little bit weird. If I'm in a huge debate with my wife, we're really like, she's
no. It's gone beyond that. It's gone beyond that.
Everything, and then I get my little toothpick out.
No. Don't forget.
Oh,
no. So here's the problem. You see, you've ignored the steps.
Yeah.
This is what prevents the crime of passion. You see, first thing, you can admonish her. What you're doing.
You discuss with her
What's going on?
It takes time,
right? And then you separate yourself from her bed. So you don't sleep in the same bed as her now.
But it's not just one off.
And then,
it's over time.
And then, now you know.
Truthfully, with the greatest respect, and I don't mean to disrespect Islam here, but if I'm in like a huge thing about the, like, she's been cheating on me, she's stealing all my money, we've sat down, we've had a serious talk, and like, I'm in tears, she's in tears, and then I pull out my toothpick and stroke her arm. That's a little bit weird.
Okay. Did I say to you, you have to pull out a toothpaste? No.
That's what this was.
No, I said I likened it to it. Likened it.
I like that you carried this round, by the way.
I just got someone give it to me today, alhamdulillah. I'm glad they give it to me.
I was going to say, I hope this
so people can see the beating that we can give. All right, that's just to symbolise. It didn't say use a. The Prophet didn't say in the hadith, go get a miswak and use a miswak. You see, he likened. That's the heaviness of it. That's the lightness of it.
Yeah.
All right. So that's that. So we know the Prophet has gone definitive on wife beating. So there's no. Now, if someone wants to come and say you can beat your wife excessively, you can give her black eyes, you can punch her in the face, you can cause pain. I want to know why they're ignoring the Prophet Muhammad.
Can I ask a question? Because
wait 1 second. No.
Okay,
no more questions right now. No more questions right now. Okay. No more questions right now.
He's going to bring out the toothpick in a minute.
No, you're not my wife. Don't worry about that, mate.
That's a shame.
All right? Don't need no toothpicks with you, mate. I'm only joking.
Beautiful children. We make beautiful children.
So anyway,
children.
I think there'll be ginger in it. Anyway, so basically, that's that. So there is no other way to really look at that verse.
Okay, can I ask one question about these things? Because I was told, probably by the wrong people, that these used to be a lot bigger.
How big is your mouth? Because they're used for toothpaste.
To be honest.
Okay, go give me this. Let's say
it used to be like this.
Okay, let's use this as an example. Let's say this was the miswak.
Just going to step back so I can't put it in camera. There we go.
All right. Now I'm going to beat you with this. I can't cause you pain. I can't leave a mark, nor can I hit the face.
Can I? Okay.
All right. There is no difference whether it's this big or this big.
Okay.
I still can't cause you pain.
Can I ask a question on?
Bismillah.
Can I just explain to you what the symbolism?
Yeah. No.
Be careful.
Joseph.
I would say.
Joseph. No, he's going to go definitive now for you on the symbolism.
I just want to explain what the symbolism is of, because we're talking about symbolism, but what does it symbolise? All of the steps that are previously described, they're between the husband and wife. So
together,
there's been some sort of illegal intercourse or whatever. The husband first has to sort of discuss with her, argue over the matter, like what's going on, can we resolve this? That will take months to do that. If that doesn't work, then you separate yourself on the marital bed. Again, it's not for one night I'm not sleeping with you. That again takes months.
Who's that punishing?
Well, probably yourself actually. But you're trying to make the point that actually this is something that's very serious.
Yeah.
This is still between the husband and wife. It's not. It's a private matter.
No one knows.
The next step then is this, and that's I'm going to sort you. But this is and that's symbolising the step that follows this. This step symbolises that this is now going to become a public matter, because when the next step then is bring the people, two members from her family, two members from your family, and the verses go on to say this if you read them.
Just on that, does she have the same mechanism?
Yes, so she does.
Yes,
she does. So she
doesn't say so in the Quran.
But it's not that.
Doesn't say so in the Quran.
This is why we explain to you that we take our understanding from a wider source than.
Are there hadith that say that the woman can use the miswak on the man?
No, it's not the miswak that's used, but she has the same mechanism. She can get other people involved.
What can she do?
There is another person.
Personally, I'm not sure aware of what she can do, but she is able to bring.
My understanding was a woman couldn't initiate a divorce in Islam.
She can do that.
Perfect.
It's just a different way of doing it. It's not the same mechanism.
Because women are more emotional than men.
So the symbolism.
I don't know. We've got some pretty emotional men in Speaker's Corner. That's some pretty unemotional women.
No, but if a woman had the right of talaq, men would be divorced left, right, and centre, because we're not saying there's anything wrong with it, but they have an emotional nature and they could react in a certain way.
So you're saying women would be more likely to divorce their husbands husbands.
Oh, most definitely.
So the Quran protects men from being divorced by their
No.
wives?
Basically, God Almighty knows the nature of men and knows the nature of women. And now this is not a generalization as such, but more often than not, women can be more emotional than men.
So would you say the high divorce rate in the West is because women can divorce their husbands?
No. We're talking about the mechanism of talaq.
Okay.
See, a woman's the route for the woman to divorce is longer than the route for the man. Yeah, depending on the school of thought with regards to talaq, 3 talaqs, and then it's over. Okay. So a man is more likely to reason it more than a woman. May be more likely just to an emotional state. I know, I've not always been a Muslim. Yeah, I've experienced women, and they do emotional things and regret it after. Yeah, more often than not, men, unless they're in the influence of alcohol or whatever, generally have a more reasoned view on it. Just the way we're made up, I believe.
Okay,
personally.
I disagree with that, but that's fine.
You can disagree with that. I don't mind.
That's fine.
But I'm just trying to rationalise the different mechanisms with regards to divorce. But that's another story. But anyway.
Merkel and Thatcher and things like that. There may be.
No. Nobody's saying, like I said to you, it's not every woman and every man. There are emotional men. I agree with you. To be honest with you, a lot of I see a lot of Arab men are very emotional. But mashallah, it's reactionary. Someone insults Islam or insults the Prophet Muhammad, they react burning this and effigies, and you know what I mean. Whereas I'm a Muslim. If someone did these things, I wouldn't react in that way.
Yeah.
But we all have our different makeups. You know what I mean. But when we're in relationship matters, yeah, it's a different story. But anyway, this is going off the point. Just explain the symbolism.
So the point is that the symbolism is of a private matter now becoming a public matter. That's all it is, and it's actually nothing.
Sure.
It's actually a series of events that then signifies actually now that this is no longer between us. So this is going to become a greater matter.
Is the malak done in public there?
Talaq.
Malak, sorry.
Talaq.
I thought talak was when you said it.
Yeah, what's the matter?
I thought what you said. This thing was called what's that? Miswak.
Okay,
so many Arabic words.
No. This is telling her you don't. Okay,
Yeah, that's still behind. So the
okay.
would you say 3 times?
What I need you to understand, what I need you to get out of your mind, what I need you to get out of your mind is that someone's got a miswak on a little shelf in their house, right, waiting to use it in this event.
Well,
all right. This is just symbolising the lightness of the tap. It's not saying go and get a miswak and utilise that. It's basically the level.
When you were given this, I was concerned someone was promoting misogyny, wife beating.
Yeah,
but that's not the case.
Yeah.
What I would say.
So basically, what he's saying is, so after that, symbolic, then that's when the other families are going to find out and everyone's going to come together. And after that, if there's still no reconciliation, then obviously talaq.
The word that's used.
Allah should not have used the word beat in the Quran. If what you're saying is true, he should not have used the word beat. Because the word beat has a meaning, and the way you describe it is not beat, it's tap. Maybe, yeah. So I would.
I'll say to you again. What is the Arabic word used?
Well, I trust the Muslims who translate it.
No.
I'm saying you said
Arabic professors in every Quran I've read says beat. That's the word they use.
No, but how do you understand that word?
They should use the word tap. There's a standard.
What's the Arabic word for tap?
There's a standard word. People know what you mean by beat. If they didn't mean beat, they've used the wrong word.
Anyway,
they've used the wrong word.
We know your opinion.
I'd love it if you changed the Quran, took out the word beat and said tap. That'd be much better.
If you were to get water and you lifted the water into your hands and you threw it on your face, the same word would be applied to that action. So if you think you're beating your face with water, then that's your own opinion. But this is actually what the word is also used to mean. So the word that's used and translated is unfortunate.
Just on that, are there any Muslims that believe that word does mean splash with water?
Quran only.
Because I've had water thrown in my face by emotional women before, never the other way around. I've never done it.
She was symbolising to you that now it's going to become a public matter.
No, but Quran only Muslims, I'm pretty sure, interpret it in that manner.
Yeah. And when he says Quran as well, when you give example, he give وَضْرِبْ لَهُمْ مَثَلَ الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا. Means somebody is hideous and you shall just give them.
No, the lesson from all of this, Joseph, you should get, and even you should get, okay, is this. The Quran is not always saying what you think it's saying. So when in future conversations you're speaking with Muslims and you try to use verses of the Quran to support you, make sure you understand those verses.